Hello there, all of you very beautiful people of the interweb. So my name is Daniel, you're watching Music Time, and fun fact, tomorrow the new Foster the People album releases, but today I have a review for it. Recently, Foster the People said, hey, you can listen to the album, streaming online here. So I did, I checked it out. It's of course their second album called Supermodels, and it is their first album in 3 years, Their debut album, Torches, was 2011. That album was a while ago. This album is now. And the thing about Torches is that many people enjoyed it, but also got criticism for not being diverse enough. Many people argued that the songs sounded too similar to one another, there wasn't that much of a difference between each. And, I can totally see that point, I sort of agree with it to an extent. And, it all sort of sounded very similar, wasn't too much diversity. But then I heard about, Foster the People's releasing their second album, Supermodels, and I was told that it was going to have some punk rock, vibes to it, which I didn't really hear any of those when listening to the album. Maybe I gotta do a second listen, but I didn't hear them then. But what I was really excited by is just by the first track. I think it's called, Are You What You Want to Be? The first track, it tells you, hey, we're the same band, but they're sort of reinventing themselves slightly. This album is different than the last. And one thing I like is the first single they released was the song Coming of Age. And while I don't feel like necessarily that is the greatest song on the album, although it is a very good one, I just feel like that was the perfect song to release first, to introduce this album, because you can see they sort of matured as with the release of this one. They're not still the little kids making all this fun little dancey music. It's still, there's still those sort of vibes there, but there's also more to it. And really they just sort of matured their sound, and it feels like they took a leap of faith. They went in a not so safe direction. If they made an album that was just like Torches 2, it probably would have been great. I mean, it would have gone great, reception probably. People would be like, oh, it sounds too similar, but you'd hear songs on the radio, they make tons of money. But this album, they sort of take a different step, and I like it that they took the risk. And while I still think that Torches, the best songs on Torches are better than the best songs on Supermodels, but as a whole, I would rather listen to Supermodels, because while it doesn't have, those super fun songs like Don't Stop and, Houdini and all those fun tracks from Torches, this album has much more diversity, and it's better to listen to as an album as a whole. And that's what I really like about this. One thing about the last Foster the People album, it was just all this digital, tech-y kind of sound that's probably produced on a computer, or some artificial instrument. What I like about this is they sort of step away from that. The sounds are still there, but there are quite a few songs where I was actually surprised to hear they had acoustic guitar going, they had some instruments I couldn't quite name, and it was just lots of diversity in this one. And so that's also, it's a sort of more psychedelic album than the last. And it gives this interesting and unique vibe to it. And I know that because it's, different than the last one, some people are going to be like, this album is awful, but I think they took a step in the right direction, and that's what I think about it. So, finally, two last things. Intro and conclusion. I really liked the introduction song. I talked about this a minute ago. It just sounds very different. Right off the bat, okay, this is a different song. It sort of has this almost foreign sound to it, different country. I don't know where exactly. I don't listen to too much, foreign-y type music, just because I guess I'm not cultured enough or ignorant of other places. I don't know. It's me. It's just I should probably get into that stuff. But no. Also, the conclusion, Fire Escape is what it's called. It's the best song on the album in my opinion, because it's just this nice, calm, peaceful acoustic track. And I really, really enjoyed it. And overall, I thought it was a good album. Two though minor issues I have with the album are, first of all, as I said, there's not really a big dancey, this will get you pumped up and sort of want to get you moving around and have a good time. There's none of those songs. The closest to that would be Coming of Age, which is sort of in the same vein as stuff that you'd hear from Torches, but not quite. But also another issue I have is lyrically. First of all, I didn't have time to read through all the lyrics, and just by the way he sings them, I can't understand them, but all the time, I of course can make out most of the words. just didn't focus enough on that yet. One minor thing though is that there are times where just the way he sings it, like the last word will come out sort of awkwardly. It's like maybe that should have been a bit shorter of a line right there, maybe something should happen. But there's some lyrics that just come out sounding awkward and yeah, that's what I gotta say. If you haven't heard the album yet, I definitely would recommend it if you liked Torches, or if you just wanna, you know, if you've heard a lot about Foster the People and you want to see what they're all about, I recommend you check out this album. Don't expect Torches 2, expect them to be a bit different, not dramatically out of the way different, but expect them to be different. And if you did listen to this album, please tell me what you thought in the comments down below. Anyways, I've been talking for way too long, and I will talk to you later. Bye.